Hey everybody, welcome to Cook With Us Traveling Edition. As you guys know, my name is Alexandra Brown. I'm a registered dietitian and I'm the Food Services Director here at Lincoln County Aging Program. Thank you for joining us. It's all good to see you guys virtually. So today we are traveling to the country of Germany, where we decided to make some Bavarian cabbage as well as some kielbasa sausage. So I used turkey sausage. I also made some potatoes and sprinkled it with cheese. And as I said, we did some cabbage today. So stay tuned to learn about how I went about creating this recipe. Okay guys, let's get started. Hey everybody, so we're gonna start off with our cheese potatoes. So we're gonna cube up some potatoes and then we're gonna layer it with some feta cheese. Okay, so I have 2 potatoes here. It's about 2 pounds. Cut it in half. Oop, and be careful. One thing that I do sometimes do is to keep the cutting board from moving, you can wet some paper towels and place it underneath the cutting board and it'll help it stay still. And then you guys also know we're making this for our Meals on Wheels meal as well. So please let us know what you guys think. So now that we're almost done cutting our potatoes, I think it's really important to know that you can leave the skin on. So you don't always have to skin the potatoes per se. The skin is edible. Just make sure that you rinse it off with a vegetable wash or some water, however you feel most comfortable. And then also too, just being mindful of waste. Those potato skins actually are related to food waste. So if you actually eat them, I mean, as great nutrients, and you're saving the planet too at the same time. So I think that's really cool. Just cubing them as they could get cubed. Okay. So I'm gonna leave this right here for a second. Oh, that's green. And I'm gonna add everything in my bowl. So I have my water here that I'm gonna add. I have some olive oil. And then I have my seasoning mix. I have some oregano in here and some salt and pepper. And then let me move that to the side. Because we're also gonna take our lemon and we're gonna do 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. And if you don't have a lemon at your disposal, you just have, you know, the lemon juice that comes in those little canisters or little squeeze bottles, you can use that too. I'm not sure the logic. Let me see. I think this would make more sense. Yeah. And there's some seeds in here that we can take out too. Okay, so did I say 3 tablespoons? I meant to say 2 tablespoons. 1. 2. Okay, so now that we have all of that in there, I'm just gonna rotate this. I'm going to put all of my potatoes into this mixture. And then we're going to coat it all. Okay, so now we're going to mix all of that together, just coat it. So right now our oven is preheating at 450. So when we get it actually in there, it should be at 450. So I'm gonna try not to get the juices on there exactly. I don't want it to, well, I'm gonna put the juices on there. We can just do that last. So just spread it out, spread it out. And as you guys may already know, potatoes is a starchy vegetable. And so potatoes aren't bad for you. We just don't want to eat too many of them. So it would be about 1/4 of our plate. And the reason it's so runny is because we have the water in there. Okay, it looks really good. Okay, so here are our potatoes. We're going to take this, put it in the oven for about 40 minutes, and then after it comes out of the oven, we're gonna toss some feta cheese on it. Okay guys, so let's get started on making our Bavarian cabbage. So first we're gonna come over here. We already rinsed off our cabbage and we're gonna basically cut it off into slices, right? So as we're cutting this into slices, we wanna make sure this is warm, and we're going to add our butter into this in a second, but let's cut down some of our cabbage into slices. So we're gonna cut about half a head of cabbage. So this was originally on it. I just started to kind of peel it off so I could cut this part in half a lot easier. So we're just gonna do strips of cabbage. I love cabbage, like it's one of my favorite vegetables, hands down. I just feel like you can add so much seasoning and it's just really light and refreshing. I'm gonna cut this into half strips. Okay, same concept here. So we have these strips too. So the bowl looks kind of big. It looks pretty full, so I'll add it to it in a second. So let's place our butter into there. Let's see. Yeah. I'm just smoothing it out to it. And that's the thing about cabbage is your cabbage is super healthy, but then you add this load of butter, stacking on the saturated fats. I mean, it does have unsaturated fats in it too, just be mindful of how much butter you use. And if anything, always get the unsalted butter because your recipe always calls for salt. So just doing the unsalted butter, I think, is a lot better option. So I think that's enough butter. Take that off. And then I'm gonna saute my white onion in here. Hopefully this can all fit in my pan. And I've noticed fresh ingredients always taste a lot better. So you may have your onion seasoning, but actually having fresh onion in there, it's just gonna bring out the flavor a lot more. Of course. And one trick that I do personally with all my vegetables is that I buy the vegetables at the, like say I buy them on Sunday, and then I pre-cut them at the beginning of the week. So then if I want to incorporate them into a dish later on during the week, I already have them pre-cut instead of me making a dish and me seeing the onion, the whole onion. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to cut this onion and add it to my dish. It's already pre-cut. We can just add it in there. And as we were talking about earlier with like food waste and whatnot, actually cutting that onion earlier and incorporating it into many of your dishes is not only going to be good for taste, it's also going to be good because we're going to limit the food waste that we have in our kitchen. And I mean, depending on how big your family is, I know it's going to vary. So me being a single person, I might accumulate a bit more waste than a family of 2 people because if you don't want it, your spouse might want the food. But in my case, consuming a whole onion within a certain period of time might be more difficult. Or not even that, like I can't eat a whole onion, but maybe all the dishes I make that week don't call for an onion. So that even comes back to appropriate meal planning throughout the week. I think meal planning is like really important. So if you pick 3 dishes that week that you're gonna make, and then rotate those between your lunches and dinners, you're definitely gonna get rid of that onion. But it's all about planning for it. Okay, so we are adding this. Also, we have our sugar here. So we're gonna add some sugar to it as well. So we want it to really like get, we don't want to brown the onions all the way per se, but we do want to cook them down before we add our cabbage. Okay guys, so now that we've gotten our onions a little brown, they still have their original color, but some of them are a little brown. I did that for about 3 minutes or so. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our cabbage. And kind of break it down if you can. With those chunkier pieces. Turn this down. Oops. Kind of just want to stir as I go to get those onions everywhere. And so I have my my cooking wine right here. So I'm gonna add a little bit of layer to it, and then I'm just gonna, ooh. Yay. So let's peel this one down. Let's add the rest of our cooking wine to the top. Note to self, don't wear a cute shirt on the cooking show. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it back up. And then I would leave it on medium heat for about 20 minutes. So that's what we're gonna do right now, okay? So we're gonna have our, mind you, our potatoes in the oven, our cabbage is cooking, and then we're gonna move on to our turkey sausage next. Hey, okay, so we're going to start making our turkey sausage. So turkey sausage is a great option if you want to find an alternative to pork sausage. So I'm gonna read a little bit of information about this. So just so you guys know, one of these contains 7 servings, and one serving has 510 milligrams of salt, which is about a quarter or more of your day. So you want to be mindful about how much you actually consume, because if 1/7 of this has 1/4 of your salt, imagine how much 1/4 of sausage has. I mean, it's going to be at least 1/3 of your day if you eat more sausage. So just be mindful of how much sodium's in it. Possibly get a reduced sodium option if you can, or even if you know how to home make turkey sausage links, I would give that a try too. And then it has 1.5 milligrams of saturated fat for one serving, which isn't too bad. And then it has 8 grams of protein. So we love our protein. So read your ingredient label when you are considering what you're purchasing, and then also read the ingredient list and see if the ingredients list fits your needs. Okay, so I got the one that's like super easy to open. It says easy to open. So that's why I got it. I'm like, we don't want it to be challenging. So we got our link. So I'm just gonna cut each part into about 6 pieces. Okay, so we're almost done with our turkey sausage. So we're gonna set them on our sheet trays, and I'm gonna put it in the oven for about 15 minutes or so to 20 minutes. I'm gonna make sure it reaches my 165 degrees, and then I'm going to pull it out after that. And then don't forget our cabbage is cooking right now, and the cabbage, you know, it's been about 20 minutes or so, so we're gonna take it out soon. Okay, I'm gonna take this to the oven, and then we can mix up our cabbage as well. But before I put my hands back in that area, I'm gonna make sure I wash my hands since it got a little messy. Okay guys, so we have everything prepared. Our cabbage is cooked off, our potatoes are baked, and our sausage is to the appropriate temperature. So let's first finish off our potatoes. We're gonna add our feta cheese to it. And we're just gonna mix it just so it's all over it. And I think feta cheese is good with this. Also too, I mean, if you like cheddar cheese, you can put it in there instead. I think it looks really good like that. Okay. So let's plate up our potatoes. Let's do our cabbage. The thing is, with cabbage, I mean, you can cook it quickly like we did for 40 minutes, but I know my grandmother always loves to cook cabbage for a few hours, you know, on a very low temperature, just to make sure like the flavors mix and really get infused into the cabbage. So however your time is looking that day, do it however you like it best. But in this case, we did it for about 20 minutes. Actually, I ended up doing a bit longer. I would say maybe like 30, but you can do it in about 20. Okay, so I'm gonna do about 2-3 pieces of sausage. And here we go. We have our potatoes with feta cheese on it, our cabbage mixed with onions, nicely sauteed with some butter, and then we have our turkey sausage right here to 165 degrees. I didn't add anything to the sausage, but I mean, if you would like to. I mean, I love red pepper flakes, so I mean, you can always add some red pepper flakes. I put it on everything. But with the cabbage, if you would like to add more seasonings, please do so. So just remember, always as you're cooking, try things out. So as I was cooking, I was trying my cabbage out. So this is the recipe. You guys, let me know how you like it. I'm looking forward to y'all's feedback. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm Alexandra Brown. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.